Welcome back to Fireside Unsolved. If you're settling in for the first time, we're thrilled to have you join us in the Fireside Unsolved community. And to our returning listeners and subscribers, your continued support means the world. Thank you for being part of the journey. Tonight we delve into 4 strange but true mysteries, stories stranger than fiction. We begin with a chilling account of a man's brush with death, a near-fatal encounter that defies rational explanation and leaves lingering questions about the nature of fate, chance, and the afterlife. From there, we venture into Nevada, where a perplexing cancer cluster casts a shadow of suspicion over a small community, sparking rumors of environmental hazards and unseen forces at play. Next, in the Lone Star State of Texas, a bizarre incident unfolds, leaving questions about what we know about the universe. And finally, we delve into the haunting tale of a little girl's ghostly companion, a figure that will lead to a truth that will chill you to the bone. Now grab a blanket, stoke the flames of your curiosity, and prepare to explore the mysteries that continue to baffle us all. This is Fireside Unsolved, Episode 67, 4 Strange but True Mysteries. In June 1980, the Indiana skies crackled with the promise of an approaching summer storm. While on the ground, a man by the name of Robert Davidson embarked on a routine journey along the winding stretches of Interstate 74. As the distant rumble of thunder grew closer and closer, Davidson seemed somewhat oblivious to the imminent danger lurking on the horizon. So he pressed on, his motorcycle carving a solitary path through the heart of Indiana. Then the skies opened, unleashing a torrential downpour upon the unsuspecting traveler. With lightning dancing across the sky, Davidson knew he had little time to spare and needed to get to safety. In a desperate bid to shield himself from nature's wrath, Davidson veered to the side of the road and attempted to grab his rain gear amidst the onslaught of rain and lightning. At that moment, and with a deafening crack, a bolt of lightning came down from the sky and struck Davidson with the force of 1,000 suns. In an instant, his world was consumed by a blinding white light as 200,000 volts surged through his body, tearing his boots from his feet and searing every fiber of his being. In the immediate aftermath of the lightning strike, paramedics descended upon the scene quickly and desperately attempted to save Robert. It seemed unlikely someone would survive a direct lightning strike of this magnitude, and a palpable sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. That's when events took a chilling turn towards the inexplicable. In a baffling twist of fate, suddenly every power circuit in the ambulance failed, plunging the scene into darkness and chaos. Even the backup batteries succumbed to the mysterious forces, leaving the paramedics trying to handle an unforeseen problem in an already tense situation. In the middle of the chaos, a figure suddenly emerged in the road, seemingly from the shadows, and stood at the back of the opened ambulance. Clad in black garments reminiscent of 1800s-style clothing, the mysterious woman held a Bible close to her chest. Her arrival sent shivers down the spines of those present. With a solemn determination, the woman approached Robert, ignoring the bewildered gazes of the EMTs and curious onlookers. She reached out to touch him, her touch imbued with an otherworldly energy. As she began to chant and pray, her voice reverberating with an ancient power, the paramedics watched in awe and disbelief. She began to slap the Bible she was holding on the road, and with each strike of her Bible against the unforgiving ground, the air crackled with a tangible sense of anticipation, as if the very fabric of reality hung in the balance. Then, without warning, the woman's prayers took on a cacophony of strange tongues that defied all rational explanation. As the paramedics looked on in stunned silence, a sense of unease settled over the scene, their rational minds struggling to comprehend the strange sight unfolding before their eyes. And then, as suddenly as she had appeared, the woman vanished into the night. As if in response to her departure, the power in the ambulance surged back to life, casting a flickering light back upon the scene. Robert's vital signs miraculously returned, and despite the grim prognosis of the doctors awaiting him at the emergency room, a glimmer of hope emerged from the terrible lightning strike that had taken place. Robert Davidson's miraculous recovery continued to defy all odds, and after 2 months of an induced coma in order to recover, he emerged just in time to welcome his first grandchild into the world. Whispers of disbelief surrounded Robert's recovery. Among the ranks of the paramedics and bystanders who had gathered at the scene, including two of the paramedics who had fought desperately to save Robert's life, adamantly insisted that the mysterious woman, clad in black and wielding a Bible, had actually never been there. Their recollections painted a picture of a scene untouched by the supernatural, a testament to the fallibility of human perception. Yet for others, the memory of the mysterious woman remained etched in their minds with a chilling clarity that defied all rational explanation. They spoke of her presence with a conviction born of first-hand experience, recounting the prayers and the otherworldly aura that surrounded her, leaving no doubt in their minds that she had been there. The truth behind the identity of the mysterious woman remained, and still does remain, shrouded in uncertainty. Known only as the Lady in Black, she faded into history, like many other local legends, her presence relegated to the realm of folklore and myth. In the expanse of Nevada lies Fallon, a serene little town seemingly untouched by the chaos of the outside world. With its picturesque landscapes and close-knit community of approximately 8,000 people, it's the quintessential setting for a place where neighbors become like family, and children can roam freely in the embrace of small-town charm. But beneath the town of Fallon lies a chilling mystery that has gripped the citizens in fear and uncertainty. Between the years 1997 and 2002, 17 children, the very heart and soul of this town, were diagnosed with cancer. It began with Dustin Gross, a vibrant young boy whose innocence was shattered by the sudden appearance of odd bruises and crimson specks that marred his skin. His mother, Brenda, filled with dread and desperation, watched helplessly as doctors delivered the devastating diagnosis that threatened to steal her son's life: acute lymphoblastic leukemia. As Dustin started his grueling chemotherapy treatments, a terrifying pattern began to emerge. Over the span of just 2 years, 14 more children in the Fallon area fell victim to the almost identical cancer that Dustin was diagnosed with, a staggering statistic for a town of such modest proportions. The fabric of Fallon's community was torn apart as fear and uncertainty swept through its streets. Desperate parents clung to each other for support, their hearts heavy with the weight of unanswered questions. Authorities, too, were rattled by the unprecedented outbreak, their investigations yielding more questions than answers. And as the chilling shadow of childhood leukemia descended upon Fallon, the local hospital found itself inundated with the heartbreaking plight of innocent children battling a relentless enemy. Amidst the chaos, registered nurse Barbara de Braga, her heart heavy with concern, dared to voice the unthinkable, the dreaded specter of a cancer cluster, a haunting reality that threatened to engulf the very heart of their beloved community of Fallon. With trembling hands and a resolve born of desperation, she reached out to the powers that be, igniting the flames of official inquiry and setting in motion a quest for answers that would shake Fallon to its core. Enter Dr. Randall Todd, his sharp mind and unwavering determination serving as a guiding light in the fog of uncertainty. With the weight of the community's hopes resting upon his shoulders, he delved deep into the medical records and scientific data, searching for the spark that set this town ablaze. Yet even as Dr. Todd's tireless efforts unearthed new clues, the relentless march of tragedy showed no signs of abating. The tide of childhood leukemia surged forward, claiming new victims with ruthless efficiency, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. A glimmer of hope emerged in the form of Zach Beardsley, a brave young soul whose battle against leukemia became a rallying cry for justice and understanding. With unwavering resolve, his mother Tammy flung open the doors of their home to a team of scientists, their search for answers echoing through the home. Yet despite their best efforts, the truth remained out of reach, shrouded in the murky depths of speculation. Whispers of environmental toxins and hidden dangers haunted the once peaceful streets of Fallon, arsenic-laden drinking water to the ominous shadow of radiation lingering from underground atomic tests. Every conceivable explanation was explored in a desperate quest for answers. Some pointed accusing fingers at the nearby lakes and rivers, tainted by the specter of mercury poisoning. Others turned their gaze towards the sprawling fields of nearby farms, where pesticides mingled with the very air they breathed, casting uncertainty over the once fertile soil. And then there was the sinister presence of jet fuel, its cancerous fumes wrapping around the unsuspecting town. Laden with benzene, a silent killer cloaked in the guise of progress, it seeped into the very fabric of their lives. But for all the theories and conjecture, one chilling truth remained. None could be 100% confirmed, so none could be concretely connected to the tragic cases that had rocked Fallon to its core. The stark reality of the cancer cluster's impact reverberates far beyond the confines of this small Nevada town. Children's lives were left forever altered by the cruel hand of fate, becoming unwitting symbols of a community's struggle against an invisible enemy. As experts still delve into the depths of scientific inquiry to find out what happened during that 5-year stretch in Fallon, a new theory emerged from the ashes of uncertainty. Ground deposits of cobalt and tungsten, hidden beneath the surface of Fallon's soil, may hold the key to unlocking the mystery that has plagued this community for far too long. On a crisp December night in 1980, the roads of Dayton, Texas were abruptly interrupted by an otherworldly encounter that would forever alter the lives of Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and Vicki's 7-year-old grandson, Colby. As they navigated the quiet streets, their journey home took a surreal turn when an inexplicable light pierced the darkness ahead. Drawn closer by an eerie sound emanating from the source of the light, Betty halted the car, her senses overwhelmed by the intensity of the brightness. Stepping out into the night, she beheld a sight beyond comprehension. A diamond-shaped object in the sky, its 4 points casting an otherworldly glow. But it was not merely the sight that seized their undivided attention. It was the intense heat emanating from the craft, like flames licking the air right in front of their faces. A fearful Betty returned to the safety of the car, only to find the metal door handle scalding to the touch. Within moments, the strange craft vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of questions. Their encounter, however, was far from over. Later that evening, after returning home and going to bed, Vicki Landrum's grandson, Colby, stirred with an unsettling sickness. His feverish state and sudden illness foreshadowed the strange affliction that would soon grip them all. Vicki, too, succumbed to the inexplicable illness, both she and Colby bearing the unmistakable signs of a severe sunburn, despite not being in the sun long enough to even get a tan. Then Vicki discovered Betty, stricken with a fever of alarming proportions. Large welts marred her face and hands, a haunting testament to the events of the previous night. As they grappled with their shared affliction, one question lingered unanswered. What dark forces had descended upon Dayton, Texas that December night, leaving all three of them with intense sickness? Betty's condition spiraled into a perilous battle for survival. Rushed to the hospital, she found herself in the care of Dr. Mallory Pagan, whose diagnosis chilled everyone involved to the bone. Acute radiation poisoning, yet another chilling reminder of the mysterious events. Over a month and a half, Betty's struggle became more pronounced, her once vibrant demeanor eclipsed by the insidious grip of radiation sickness. The toll was evident, her hair and skin both lost from her face and head. Unfortunately, Betty was not alone in her affliction. Vicki and young Colby, too, bore the scars of their encounter. While their symptoms were not as severe as Betty's, the lingering effects still haunted them in their recovery. Determined to uncover the truth, John Schuessler of the Mutual UFO Network decided to investigate, deciding to go to the very site of the unbelievable encounter in December 1980. There, etched into the asphalt, lay a chilling testament to the inexplicable. A large circular mark, a scar on the ground from the extraordinary events that had transpired. Following the investigation of the site, John Schuessler and his team left. Then witness accounts spoke of unmarked trucks arriving on the scene. With surgical precision, they excavated the earth, erasing all traces of the mysterious mark before covering it anew with fresh asphalt, leaving behind only whispers of their roadwork. As John delved deeper into the mystery surrounding the encounter, he uncovered a web of corroborating accounts from eyewitnesses who had also seen the unidentified object in the sky that night. Among them was Sergeant L. Walker, whose chance encounter with a fleet of military helicopters flying overhead only added another layer of intrigue to the saga. He thought there may have been a plane crash and they were searching for the wreckage that night. Little did he know his observation would become a crucial piece in the puzzle. Convinced that the military held the key to unlocking the truth, Betty and Vicki embarked on a relentless pursuit for answers. Their plea to Senators John Tower and Lloyd Bentsen marked the beginning of a quest for justice that would take them to the very heart of the military establishment. With hope in their hearts and determination in their eyes, they set foot in Bergstrom Air Force Base, seeking not only assistance but validation for the harrowing ordeal they had endured. Inside the confines of the base, their hopes soared as they were ushered into a room adorned with maps pinpointing the precise location of the sighting. Yet, their optimism soon waned as they faced hours of grueling interrogation, their words meticulously recorded by a military stenographer. Despite their fervent pleas, the military staunchly denied any involvement in the incident, leaving Betty and Vicky to grapple with the harsh reality of their predicament. Denied medical damages and thwarted in their pursuit of justice, Betty and Vicky's resilience remained unwavering. In a final act of defiance against the forces that had silenced them, they sought recourse in the halls of justice, filing a lawsuit against the U.S. government in a bid to hold them accountable for their suffering. However, their hopes were dashed once more as their plea fell on deaf ears, denied by a federal judge for lack of evidence. As the years passed, Betty and Vicky bore the heavy burden of their encounter, their bodies weakened by the lingering effects of the unexplained radiation exposure. Despite their valiant struggles, their health steadily declined, each year marked by hospitalizations and battles against the onslaught of illness. Tragically, Betty's journey came to an end on December 29, 1998, a haunting coincidence that saw her depart this world exactly 18 years after the night that forever altered her destiny. Her passing served as a poignant reminder of the lasting impact of that encounter, and a testament to the toll exacted by forces still not explained. Vicky, too, succumbed to the ravages of time and illness, her spirit finally finding peace in 2007. Meanwhile, Colby, the innocent witness to the inexplicable events of that December night, continues to carry the weight of unanswered questions, his longing for closure echoing through the corridors of time. With each passing day, he clings to the hope that someday, somehow, the truth behind the incident that forever changed the course of their lives will finally be revealed, offering peace to a soul forever haunted by the mysteries of the unknown events of a December night in 1980. In January 2000, Jodie Foster, a 30-year-old single mother, found herself on the hunt for a new place to call home. With her 2-year-old daughter Hannah in tow, Jodie stumbled upon a quaint apartment complex nestled along Parmack Road in Chico, California. Intrigued by the "For Rent" sign beckoning from the front lawn, she decided to take a quick tour of the building. As Jodie stepped foot into the charming yet uneasy atmosphere of the apartment complex, she was overcome by a strange feeling that permeated the air. Brushing aside her initial unease as mere nerves from the stressful process of apartment hunting, Jodie proceeded with the tour, determined to find a suitable abode for herself and her daughter. Despite the nagging sense of discomfort lingering in the back of her mind, Jodie was drawn to the apartment and decided to fill out an application. Within a matter of days, she found herself on the brink of moving into her new residence. The first night in their new home, Jodie was plagued by a chilling nightmare that shook her to the core. In her dream, she witnessed a haunting scene unfold before her eyes. A man and a woman, their faces twisted with malice, stalked a terrified young woman through the shadows of the night. Waking in a cold sweat, Jodie was left bewildered and disturbed by the vividness and malevolent nature of her dream. As the weeks passed, Jodie's nightmares only intensified, each one more detailed and harrowing than the last. Meanwhile, her young daughter Hannah began to speak of an angel named Myliz, prompting Jodie to question the inexplicable occurrences unfolding within the walls of their new home. It wasn't until a chance encounter with a longtime tenant that Jodie learned the chilling truth about her apartment's dark past. Discovering that her new home was once inhabited by a woman who vanished without a trace, and hearing tales of others who have abruptly fled the premises over the years, Jodie was gripped by a growing sense of dread. Haunted by the unsettling revelations and the eerie experiences plaguing her and her daughter, Jodie found herself trapped in a nightmare from which there felt like there was no escape. As the sinister forces lurking within the apartment began to reveal themselves, Jodie realized that she may have unwittingly stepped into a realm where the line between dreams and reality blurs, and where the past holds sway over the present in ways she could never have imagined. As the months passed, the strange occurrences surrounding Hannah's sightings of Myliz and Jodie's terrifying dreams escalated into a night of sheer terror, marked by poltergeist activity that pushed Jodie to her breaking point. In the dead of night, Jodie gathered her daughter and fled the apartment, vowing never to return to the scene of their haunting ordeal. Years later, in 2008, Jody found herself compelled to confront the dark history of their former residence. Delving into the apartment's past, she unearthed a shocking revelation that sent chills down her spine and shattered her sense of safety and peace. It all began on January 31, 1976, when Marie Elizabeth Spanhake disappeared while walking home from a flea market on Mangrove Avenue in Chico, California. The disappearance, reported by Spanhake's boyfriend after an argument, sparked a frantic search effort. Despite exhaustive questioning and investigations, no clues emerged to shed light on Spanhake's whereabouts. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving behind a void of unanswered questions and unresolved grief. Years later, in November of 1984, a shocking confession rocked the quiet town of Red Bluff. Janice Hooker, seeking redemption for her sins, confided in her pastor about a dark secret that had haunted her for years. She revealed that she and her husband, Cameron Hooker, had abducted a young woman named Colleen Stan in May of 1977 while she was hitchhiking from Oregon. For over 7 years, Colleen endured unimaginable horrors at the hands of her captors, enduring repeated R-word and torture in captivity. Shockingly, she had been confined to a small box under the Hooker's bed for hours on end, subjected to unspeakable torment in a nightmarish prison of their making. Driven to the brink of mental collapse, Janice finally mustered the courage to release Colleen from her captivity and seek absolution for her crimes. Her confession would not only expose the depravity lurking beneath the surface of a seemingly ordinary suburban neighborhood, but also cast a chilling shadow over the fate of Marie Elizabeth Spanhake, leaving Jody grappling with the horrifying realization that her former apartment may have been the scene of unspeakable atrocities. As the layers of Janice Hooker's confession unfolded, the chilling truth of Marlise's fate came to light. Janice's harrowing account reveals a gruesome tale of abduction, torture, and murder of Marlise that sends shockwaves through the community of Chico, California. Marlise, a young woman walking along Mangrove Avenue, unwittingly fell prey to the sinister intentions of Cameron and Janice Hooker, sealing her tragic fate. Despite exhaustive efforts by authorities to locate Marlise's remains, her body remained elusive, lost to the depths of the forest where her killers supposedly disposed of her. The lack of physical evidence left her family and loved ones without closure, haunted by the uncertainty of her final resting place. In a twist of fate, Janice Hooker struck a deal with the district attorney, securing immunity from prosecution in exchange for her testimony against Cameron Hooker. Could Hannah's encounters with the angelic presence of Marlise be more than mere coincidence? Were Jody's nightmares a conduit for Marlise's restless spirit, seeking justice from beyond the grave? She still grapples with these haunting questions. Jody did take a leap of faith, and on the off chance they did not know any information relayed to her daughter by Marlise, she reached out to the Red Bluff Police Cold Case Department with the shocking details of her story. In a surprising turn of events, detectives were stunned by the accuracy of Jody and her daughter's account, sparking renewed hope for answers of where Marlise's remains are in the decades-old mystery of Marlise's disappearance, so she can be laid to rest. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fireside Unsolved. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Until next time, take it easy and be easy, you filthy bastards.